Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch, best place to chill with friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Helpley. No, wait.
What?
No. Oh, wait, never mind. He's not here. That's so weird. I also feel like I've never done an episode just with Ciaran Matchett.
I think we have at some point. I think we definitely have at some point, but
like you and Ash definitely do episodes, and I've done
we do
only Ash episodes. But
you and me are definitely. I think Ash
on
is
this show.
Ash is generally the permanent, right? He is the constant in Arcade Couch. So to not have him is a weird one. For him to be off, kind of gallivanting in Perth right now. How dare
it's sort of crazy. Like even for what do you want to watch, we still had to record 2 episodes to queue up while he was away. Like he couldn't just, fuck it, you know. Even when we take time off at the end of the year, every year, it's this whole gotta have episodes.
Fucking hell.
Crazy person.
Fucking can't even just take a break. Can't even go fishing.
No, damn right. Can't even go fishing. I've got I need like 2 news stories I want to talk about this week. Otherwise, just continue our post-PAX stuff, especially because obviously me and Ash recorded a like rough half-hour thing on the show floor, very like tired, exhausted, talking about stuff. So it's like it is like whatever that is. But having that chance to talk to Ciaran about what his PAX experience was like, of course, so we're going to continue talking about PAX. And who cares if we talk about it for 2, 3, 4 weeks? It only happens once a year, so here in Australia at least. So we're going to keep on keeping on, baby. I was going to do that later, but fuck it, let's just do it now as we roll in. So PAX, let's keep the PAX talk happening. How was your PAX 2023, Ciaran?
PAX was good. PAX was pretty great. PAX was an interesting year when it comes to games, I think. I think indie games was thriving. I think indie games were thriving. I think Dylan had a better time because it was very lackluster when it comes to AAA or AA titles to kind of for Dylan to avoid, you know. I think there was very limited in terms of video games when it comes to like the big boys and the big
I played the biggest game there. I know what you're talking about. I played Mario. So
You did. Thank you very much to Nintendo for getting us through and making that seamless as possible to go and check that out. But at the same time, I feel like, it was just, it made PAX feel, I will say it made PAX feel a little weird in terms of what there actually was to go and do at PAX if you were only a video games fan. You know, like,
I mean, there's a fuck ton of board games.
There is, but if you're mainly there because of video gaming, I think the show floor itself very limited in terms of.
Where do you fall on this? So David over at Kotaku Australia wrote this article like pretty much a day. I think it went up. Like,
I think
Monday,
I saw
Tuesday
this.
after PAX. Yeah, about like, hey, PlayStation, Xbox, get your shit together, come back. Where do you fall on the line of yes or no to that? Do you think that they should? Or
I think Xbox should. I think Xbox should 100%. No, honestly, I think both of them should. I think it would be good for both of them just to have representation. And even if it's for Xbox's sake, even if it's nothing to do with like a major game release, but there is just a bunch of Game Pass stuff and like a bunch of interactables. Like you could do something like, you know what, like Bethesda, which technically Bethesda is Xbox and Microsoft, but it's a little different. Bethesda is quite good in terms of its position within the Australian community. Bethesda didn't have a booth, but Bethesda still had an activity that everybody was saw. Like most likely, if you're at PAX, you at some point probably saw somebody carrying around an art piece of the cat from Hi-Fi Rush, because they were doing like bevs and painting or something or whatever it's called. It had a better name than that, but they had an event or an area where people were going to have a drink if you're over 18 and with one of the creative directors of Hi-Fi Rush actually draw the cat from that game. So still having them there, I think, is substantial. I think Xbox is one thing, and maybe it's just maybe this is my PlayStation leaning away or just my general opinions in the gaming space. I think it comes off a little bit arrogant of Sony not being there. Like I keep as of late in the last 12 months, I get this feeling from Sony of not giving a fuck, knowing that they are kind of number one dog, knowing that they have the player base and they have the market share in terms of video game consoles. And that's all. And, and I feel like they don't have to try to get players anymore, and they're not pushing to bring things to players anymore. And I just get that feeling with a lot of decisions lately by PlayStation and Sony themselves. Xbox, definitely you should be there, and you should be either bringing more stuff or, God, you had Forza was released. What, Forza came out this week? Like, would have been cool just to have
it came out like the week of, or
the week of. Like, it would have been cool to have Forza there, or to go over and have a Starfield. Like, have something about Starfield there. Have a Starfield experience. Yeah, piece of shit. Have a Starfield experience on the show floor or something nearby. Yeah, I just feel like both of them should be putting in more effort when it comes to attending things.
For what you're saying, I think it ties into, yes, I found the article, it's on Kotaku, written by David. It's titled, PlayStation and Xbox need to get their asses back to, I keep saying David like people know I'm talking, David Smith, by the way. Yes. PlayStation and Xbox need to get their asses back to PAX AUS. At the end here, he writes, Nintendo has understood something about PAX that the other two have clearly forgotten. These are the people that buy your stuff, the consoles you make, the games your hard-working first-party studios produce. You can try and control your image and comms as much as you like, but ultimately, the direct-to-consumer video game model is sterile, deeply impersonal thing. It's bare minimum stuff, holding your hand out for money, expecting to get it with all the interpersonal spark of choppy Zoom call. You love to claim that everything you do is for the players. Prove it. Get your heads out of your asses and get back to the PAX AUS floor in 2024. No excuses, no half measures, no off-site invite-only influencer bullshit. Get back on the floor among the people who rely on you to buy your games on your consoles. They show up for you and push your companies to record profits year on. For once in your lives, tell the shareholders to shove it, prize open your wallets, and show up for the people that keep you in the business. Because I 100% agree with all that. Like, it's definitely disappointing to not see them there, even as someone who, like, I'll stand by. Like, I don't really care. Like, and I do a
you don't give a
podcast.
fuck. You don't give a fuck because it's the AAA titles. You don't.
No.
You don't play those.
Yeah,
so let's just
that for the character of me, but also because as far as I'm concerned, like if PAX, if people always have this conversation, I know it's not for everyone, but like in a world where like PAX was only indie games, I know I'm good. Because I can never play. There's never enough time in 3 days for me to play every indie game. And even if there was, and I managed to play every single fucking indie game, I'd be like, cool, I've got time to check out other shit now, including like maybe I'll go watch some more panels. You know what I mean? Like I'm not afraid of not having enough to do. I do understand for some people, however, who are like more wanting to attend something like PAX to get a chance to go hands-on. Like people are lining up 2-3 fucking hours to play 15-20 minutes of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, a game that is out this week, right? A game that was out two and a half weeks.
People were, and we have a direct story that we probably won't tell on the show, but of Nintendo has a store that people had to get specific vouchers / tickets to get into. Like it's like Nintendo as a whole kind of, Nintendo ain't good. Like
I would love to know their optics, and we're never going to know because it's not something I'll talk about, but I'd love to know their optics on PAX this year, because the previous PAX no one attended, right? It was the big three aren't there. It's nothing. And last year's PAX was a little weird. It was and I joined it because it was like, it was still back together with everyone, whatever. But it was like a mix of, I would say, hey, the big three aren't here for the first time since any PAX Australia. And everyone's still a little bit trepidatious because it's the first like big thing post-COVID or whatever. This year, Nintendo's there. People are a little bit more laxed on the idea of COVID, for good or bad, whatever however you feel about that. But like this year felt a little bit more normalized. But I would love to know the optics on Nintendo, because they would have paid. One of the reasons that people say Xbox and PlayStation don't attend is because apparently the prices of boops are expensive, which I've heard from multiple people and do believe to be true. But if you believe that, then that means that Nintendo paid a fuck ton for their area and how much space they took up, which they probably did. But I would say, with no competition, people were that
It was the
Nintendo was
default place
always
to be.
fucking packed.
It was
and people waited hours, and I would love to know how much money they made from people just buying merch from that shop over the weekend.
Yeah, like they would make a mint, and it was like the default place for video games fans to go. Like I think the big thing of remembering PAX, like especially like maybe PAX 2019, I think is the best reference for it, where there was just
post-COVID,
pre-COVID, where there was a big Sony area where they were trying to get VR going again. They were still like having lots of VR.
We had Xbox where we played
wasn't Sonic on Xbox or something that year?
I don't remember, but
there was something.
trying to remember what the big Xbox game was, but I can't actually remember. There probably isn't one because they didn't have one probably.
Probably not. I think they just
not at that point.
No, I don't even think they did. I think they just had a big ass area with lots of consoles.
They had a few like third party games that they're like tied their brand to. That was
it was like wasn't it like Ori was around that time?
Ori could have been there. Yeah, Ori could have been there. I know the Fox game was there, the little indie Zelda like. What the fuck is that called?
Yeah, Tunic.
Tunic was there. Yeah, Tunic was there. And
I think there was lots of little stuff that you had to go to Xbox to go and play that wasn't out yet. I think there was other people showing an Xbox. But that's what they should do. If they don't have anything to show, get a bunch of your smaller people that are jumping on Game Pass, get them there and get them showing the game.
And let's not also forget about the fact that Ubisoft was there.
Yes, they just jumped on board with Nintendo.
And I think Ubisoft was there. EA was there. Sorry, maybe I'm trying to remember.
Nah, I don't think there was any EA presence. No,
maybe it was a year prior. But it definitely does. Like I do agree for people who like miss that big feel. I get it. I get it. If what you want from PAX is those big companies and the big games, I get it.
I think my problem comes from, I think they had a massive area this year for a VR free play area they had a very big area that's normally used for a stage or for something for events. I feel like and this is like, I guess no offense to them or not, it's not exactly a negative, but like the consumer part of PAX is growing. Like the amount of area that the kind of hardware companies are now starting to take in terms of your Logitechs, your I guess smaller, more
whatever brand was doing that keyboard area, like
I stay away from that because I don't want to get into custom keyboards.
So expensive, but like that place was pretty big area.
The place was big. Like I feel like those areas are getting bigger and bigger every year, and they're just so fucking loud, and they're so because they have. Which is great for them. Contests and like people gathering around to be able to at certain times during the day to be part of the contests, I think is great for them and great for the kind of, I guess, for making the show fulfilled. But I think it's just hiding that there is stuff missing from the show floor that's normally there.
Yeah. Well, it made me wonder because like, remember, it was like PAX and the EB Games Expo joined up, and that's why we had that huge 2019 year, right?
Yes, 100%.
It was like huge year. It was EB Expo and PAX joined together. It's now the best show ever, and it was pretty big, obviously that 2019 one. But now I'm like, okay, well, if they want to do that, and PAX is more indie. Back to like its roots, I guess if you want to call it that, then does the EB Games Expo need to come back? Like,
no. The thing is, I think this maybe is one of the downsides of not only COVID but of E3 dying. Is kind of these companies seeing, well, we don't actually have to be at these events because people are going to play our stuff with or without us doing this, and I think the original reason for attending these events, which it first and foremost should be growing your communities and being out there and attending more, is being replaced by the corporate business of does doing this result in more systems being sold? Like I told it several times over PAX. Fucking Phil Spencer at EB Games Expo, can't remember which year it was, but it had to be the year Gears of War 4 was coming out. And this was like maybe second or third year of Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I had sold my day one edition Xbox One because I didn't touch it. I'd been focusing on PC gaming with a bit of it was just PC gaming. I had tended that. Phil Spencer had a talk. I left that talk. I walked out and I put $300 down on a Gears of War 4 console, Xbox One S or whatever it was going to be.
You sucker.
I am a sucker, but that's what this shit's kind of supposed to do in the background. But it first and foremost, it should be building your communities and being out there and being amongst it all.
It's really weird because like all the indie devs definitely view it as, hey, it's both a chance to get our game's name out there by people playing it, but also it's a chance to build communities, talk to the people that are playing our games, see them face to face, get some feedback, and like whatever else, and like and people walk away and feel more connected to these games and feel more connected to these developers because they've met them and talked to them and whatever else. And it's really weird. And it's not weird because they're big corporations, but it's just you wish that the bigger companies felt the same way about their stuff, I guess.
And I think it was maybe this is also part of the luxury of us in our position as part of the media in Australia. I felt so welcomed by Nintendo. It was fucking crazy. And I know we get more kind of direct hands-on stuff with Nintendo themselves, but not only Nintendo, but Ubisoft, the time we spent speaking to both their representatives, like throughout the period of time we were in their booth, was fucking awesome. And it felt great. It felt really nice. Like it was great to see them interact with other people as well. Like it was great to see them interact with just your general public patrons. And it was a lot closer to how you see the indie devs interact with people when they're playing their game or when they're waiting for their game. And I think it's what I would love to see more out of Xbox and Sony, is to bring people to the forefront of these events, like introduce people, show people, talk to people, I think, in my own kind of thought processes after last week about careers and stuff, like that's very much kind of directed me in things I want to do moving forward. You
want to work for Nintendo?
Not specifically, but like not specifically, but like that's the direction that I want to go in some ways. Like is more the communications and the PR side of stuff, and the actual like getting involved with the communities and the and also like that whole side of things. I guess it's hard to put into words exactly, but
I know what you're saying.
That's inspiring to see, and I think to get that more as a whole from lots of people and to get that in the industry from Xbox and Sony, I think is really important in as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, I get it, but yeah, it's. I say two things of like I totally get it, and I wish I would love to see that PAX sort of thing return, but at the same time, I don't want to say like PAX is dead to me if they don't. You know what I mean? Like there's still more than enough to keep me happy and entertained while I'm there.
100%.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. Let's go over the big thing you did, I guess, in your day and a half that you were there. Whatever.
Fucking hell.
In the time you're there. So you went and played let's talk about non-digital games. Let's talk about
I want to play some board games.
Other side.
I went, and thanks to the team over at Double Jump Comms, I was lucky enough to go and join in some demonstrations of Space Cowboy Games. I guess is the developer, I guess is the word, or the designer and publishers for these board games. The first one is a newly to be, well, I guess they're both to be released. I think Spellbook was able to be purchased actually at PAX, but I was lucky enough to walk away with actually a copy of Spellbook. Spellbook is a 1 to 4 player spell builder game where players have to use tokens and like kind of gather tokens to be able to learn various spells to gain points and to gain more tokens and to kind of build across while playing against others. It's 1 to 4 players. Games roughly take 30 to 45 minutes, probably 45 minutes on your first couple of games, but it does speed up kind of the more used to it you get. It's a really interesting game in terms of the customization and the playability. So every game is played with 7 spells or 7 spell cards that each have 3 spell slots that you can pay for and buy with your tokens. For the games, every player gets the same 7 spell cards, but there are 3 different sets of 7 spell cards. So that is 21 different spell cards that could be kind of mixed and changed in games. So there is recommendations at the start for a specific set of cards to use and how, but once you get a bit more into the game and you get more used to it, you can start swapping and changing different cards out of different sets and start building your own kind of games out of it to play. I actually we got to sit down with the designer and talk through it. There is a lot of interesting strategy there of watching what other players are doing, what spells they're going for, what colored tokens they're taking. The game ends when players either store 16 of these tokens, or when they've learned, one player learns 7 spells, the game stops and you kind of add up your points. Every spell that you can learn adds up your points. It has a points value as well as 1 point for every spell token you store. I had the pleasure today, actually. I sat down after lunch today with my family and played a game of it with them and kind of ran through it a little bit as I'm preparing for the review. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I think even for people who aren't into video games or aren't into board games, their mum and dad constantly, when they go away in the caravan are playing Scrabble together and stuff. So
I feel like your parents would be in the board games. Sure.
Yeah, they're into it.
I feel like they seem like
we've never really been like a big board game family and stuff. Yeah, but like, this is actually playing this, and the second game I try to speak about in a second is it's really good to get into. There's lots of kind of foreplay and strategy where you can take the same color as somebody else to try and stop them from getting them. Storing the tokens actually just removes that token from the game. So if you were to get all the white tokens, buy the white spell at its highest ability, and then start storing the white tokens in your points, you could stop other people being able to get the highest level spell for that white card. I think it's got a lot of customization. The quality of the build's interesting. I love the artwork. There are 4 of these little they call them familiar, kind of where you keep your tokens and everything. They've got great artwork. We were lucky enough to be provided with an extra 3 of them through an expansion that's going to be brought out for it. But it's a great, easy to learn game, and it's something that's definitely, I think, for anybody who is jumping in and learning and kind of getting into board games for the first time and diving into board games, I think it's a great pickup. So that's Spellbook. The other one was Perspectives. Perspectives is a cooperative detective board game where players have to work together through 4 or 5 different cases. Each case has a different act. It has 5 acts. Acts can go anywhere from about half an hour to 45 minutes generally. And you have to work together to solve the mystery and solve the problem. The really fun part of this, and we got throughout the demo that we played on that Saturday morning, was the evidence for the event. So somebody reads out like the description of everything that's going on, the setup and the setting, but then everybody is given out cards. And so any number of players you can play this with. I think 9 was the total. Don't quote me on that one. Everybody gets cards that has some form of information. So it could be somebody has personnel records where it has their fingerprints and the copy of their writing and their name and stuff. Another person could be given a photograph of the murder, of the crime scene, or different potential places where, for what we had, was there was multiple windows that a shooter could have shot from, and then there was multiple fingerprints. So what players have to do is you have to work out an answer to some questions at the end of the case, and that'll often be who is the killer, where did they shoot the person from, who else was in the room or could have been in the room. And so the big fun fact of this is you can't show anybody else the cards that you have. So the cards you have to describe what you're looking at to other people. So if somebody may have, there was a fingerprint on the windowsill. The fingerprint looked like this, and you have to kind of describe what fingerprints look like, which is, it's kind of got a squiggle that runs from the left to the right a little bit, and it's got scratches at the top. And then, the more and more elements, I think the more players that you got involved and the more players that played, I think the more chaotic and interesting it would become, because I think we had the 4 of us, so we had like 4 cards each. If you were playing with 8 of us, it would be 2 cards each. So it would require all 8 people communicating what's properly on their card. And if you have one person that's kind of sitting back a little bit or not kind of fully talking through what's going on, it's going to derail your whole case or kind of lead you down some strays or give people the wrong idea. It comes out October 20th, so it's the biggest launch of October 20th. I can't think of anything else that could be launching that day that's bigger. So check out Perspectives and definitely check out Spellbook as well.
Not in the board game space anyway,
I just think everything, I think absolutely everything. I can't think of anything at all that would be bigger.
Oh, well, looking forward to reading your full thoughts. Glad you had fun too, because I was thinking afterwards I was like, Ash is like the only one that actually gets to go to things, because like he goes to his movie events and stuff. We get codes for games or whatever, but like neither of us go to like actual.
Well, that's the thing. I think this has made me want to either play board games or maybe seek more board games out for us to do on the channel and do on the show, because I think this was a lot of fun. Even playing with my family today was a lot of fun. I'm going to get some friends together and play play Spellbook again before I write the review, and just do a couple different games, because I need to play around with some of the more the different sets just so I get a better idea for it. But I think board games are a really interesting space in general. And it definitely does make you kick yourself a little bit when you're like, if I lived in Melbourne, I could probably be able to check out a lot more stuff and see a lot more.
Opportunities like these come up. It's just I got no one to cover them. So
usually, no, 100%, 100%.
All right. Outside of that, what was your favorite game at PAX? Do you reckon?
It's my favorite game at PAX.
I feel like surely you've had enough time to. Think about what. I'm not saying it was the best game, but like, what was the game you enjoyed playing the most?
List. I actually think Prince of Persia was. I think which is, I guess a bit of a lame answer when there's all these indie games, but no. I'll go with. Okay, I'll separate it into the 2 games, because I think there was Prince of Persia. I think we got the chance to check out Prince of Persia on the Switch, which I was surprised about how much fun I had with it, in terms of I'm not a big Metroidvania style game fan. I don't love the Prince of Persia 2D games, but I do love Prince of Persia. I wasn't a part of this game looks crap, or like kind of the design or the art style looked crap, because I thought the art style looks really cool. I really like the prince's design. Yes, probably doesn't look culturally active. I will kind of admit to that. I've seen that conversation a little bit, but it seems like it's a lot of game. But what we got to play, and Dylan Dylan lays the claim to has gotten the farthest out of at least any of us out of Explosion Network. I'd be interested to see who else had gotten deeper kind of in the people who played it. But to be honest, I thought that game was a maze. There was so much shit you could do, at least in that demo period that we were playing, or that section we were playing in. There seemed to be so many different routes you could take, so many different little bits and pieces you could take. You were saying that there was a puzzle with doing with like the time rewind puzzle. Like I didn't see anything of the sort like that. I saw a lot of climbing puzzles and like rearranging the area so you climb up to different things. But yeah, it was a really interesting playthrough. I can't wait to get hands on with it and like play from you kind of. I guess one of the things was there was a lot of stuff you had access to that I guess in a normal playthrough you would get built up bit by bit as you went forward.
They just said that you like have all the powers or whatever.
Yes, which I think can be a little bit overwhelming, or you don't quite understand where you should be using everything. But I will. Okay, that is my kind of actual game. But the game that's talking my heart is still Footy Bash by a small studio called Danger Thumbs. This came out of nowhere in terms of really fun and ingenuitive game design. It was like when Buddy came over and took Ash and me over to it. It was like a kid. It was honestly like a kid on Christmas. Like he'd found like, and this was on like Friday morning. This was like when I first saw him after we went to Nintendo.
Yeah, because Buddy would have just got there, went up and down every indie aisle, found the multiplayer co-op, looked for all the multiplayer co-op games, and gone, all right, they're the ones.
For those people who don't get it, yeah, Danger Thumbs is a relatively small studio. Footy Bash is NBA Jam, but AFL. It has not licensed at all, so it has very close look-alike characters in the game that you could probably go, oh, that looks like this person in real life. But it was a full-fledged, four-player competitive game where 2 versus 2 got to play a full game of footy. There was punching people. Players could go on fire. You could jump up in the air and do massive AFL style, like massive superhero leaps to get the ball. It was a lot of fun. It was entertaining. I guess my only thing was like, okay, does this game, when it comes out, I don't think this game will have any form of like online support, or kind of it'll be great for like couch play, but if you don't have 3 friends in real life that want to play it with you, it might struggle a little bit. But it was a lot of fun. It was exciting. I walking past it every time was always full of people. So it looked great, played great. It was enjoyable, just great couch fun.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't play that, but obviously I heard enough between everyone else over the weekend who loved it. And I mean, honestly, a game called Footy Bash isn't really singing out as a Dylan game, but
no,
but that's fine. Yeah, cool. I reckon we'll put a pause on PAX. I don't know if next week when Ash is back, if you'll like, because as I said, when we did that last week, I don't know if you'll have some more thoughts or whatever. We did record some stuff that's up on our TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. They posted as shorts, and then obviously TikTok's only shorts, and Instagram they're on as reels or whatever. No, I think they just posted them as normal videos. Anyway, me and Ash did some stuff talking about, like, I just did like 10 different categories, whatever. Ciaran would have been in them, but go Starker, between the cushions.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why I wasn't there.
So if you want to know what that is, that's what that. I like the way they turned out. Short form content. I like the way they sort of turned out. So there was some stuff I want to write and put up as well. So as I said, just, time. There's not enough. Let's talk about a couple of news stories before we wrap up this week, though. So firstly, obviously, we've got to cover this. Activision, it's officially Xbox. I know I'm sort of honestly sick of talking about and covering this story to a degree. I don't know how you feel.
But it's over.
But yeah, it is officially over. It's finally gone through. So Phil Spencer on Xbox Y, for the million fans who love Xbox, Blizzard, and King Games, we want you to know that today is a good day to play. You are the heart and soul of these franchises, and we are honored to have you as part of our community. Whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or mobile, you are welcome here and will remain welcome, even if Xbox isn't where you play your favorite franchise. because when everyone plays, we all win. So yeah, the deal officially went through. They put out a trailer, which I found very weird. Like Activision Blizzard King joint Xbox official trailer is the video. And it's like a bunch of clips of characters like from StarCraft, whatever, being like, home, welcome home, and like all this like stuff about like coming home and all that. It's weird. But anyway, Bobby Kotick, the hot topic of discussion, he'll be out as of the start of next year. So he's on for a few months. Sees out the end of this year, but he's gone at the end of the year. So that was my one big question. But yeah, are you glad to see it finally actually over?
Yeah, I think the thing that got it over the line, I think, is the dumbest thing in the world, like in terms of what they had to do to try and please the UK board. But I think it's good that it's finally done. It'll be great to see Blizzard Activision actually move forward as a company. I think they've been in a holding pattern for a little bit now with this waiting. So it'll be great to see them move forward, to see how they approach, Xbox and how Microsoft kind of approaches them as a company as well. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Kotick's out, so I don't know. That's all I could ask for at this stage. Whatever. And then before we wrap up, see how you're feeling about all of this. Game Awards officially happening. Jeff Keighley's show, December 7th, probably the 8th here in Australia. How are you feeling about what you've played? Do you reckon you've played enough? And what do you think is going to take home? How are you feeling so far? Is it just going to be Baldur's Gate, Zelda? Like, what do you feel pretty confident it's going to fall into the?
I think it depends how Spider-Man does this week. I do think it's a 2-horse race. I don't even think, even if Spider-Man's amazing, I don't think it can come quite close enough to what the other two did in terms of I think Spider-Man is just going to be a sequel that's just going to do more of what its previous game did and do it well, but not in the style of, say, Zelda was insane in terms of its own development and change in terms of the game, and then Baldur's Gate just took the gaming community by storm. I don't think anything else really touches it this year. I
feel like the only two locks I have is Zelda and Baldur's Gate.
Yes. I think an interesting... It won't have anything to do with Game of the Year, but I'll be very interested to see how people approach Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty this year in the gaming award space.
Expansion, I guess. Like, depends if categories do...
Well, it's an expansion, but then on top of the expansion, the game kind of has been, as a whole, like the original, the base game for Cyberpunk 2077 has also been kind of
they got to do a big
restructured.
patch.
Yeah, they've done the 2.0 patch, which has changed the game a lot.
How would you think if a game like that gets a massive patch and it fixes a lot of things and it's came out years ago, should it suddenly be?
I don't think it should be in Game of the Year content, but I think it should definitely
ongoing game.
Yeah, I don't even think it'll be ongoing game, but I think it should definitely be up there for like Action Game of the Year or kind of those kinds of things, because fuck, it has Idris Elba in it, man. Like, of course, why not? No, I think the game as a whole is in a point, and Phantom Liberty.
Did I tell you I played some Cyberpunk?
You know what? I saw that. Because I've put in.
I just remembered.
So I've. It's one of the two main games I've played this week. I've put in. I think it was like I'm up to 22 hours this week in Cyberpunk. I saw you had played like 2.2 hours, and on my Steam that popped up. I was like, the fuck? I'm
reviewing this laptop at the moment, and I wanted to play something, chunky on it. So I downloaded and I played a couple hours of Cyberpunk on it. So yeah, it took me a couple of years, but Starfield 2028, get there.
No, it's
fine. Honestly, here's my two and a bit hours. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, doesn't grab
barely
me.
got out of the. You know what?
I know, but
it took me this playthrough. I'm actually loving this so much. I loved it when it originally came out. I'm like. It took me 10 hours to get to the title screen, to get to the Cyberpunk 2027 screen, which is at the end of the prologue and at the end of the prologue.
I'm pretty sure I got the title. That's like where
it took me 10 hours because I did just a whole bunch of other stuff rather than playing the main story, and I was having a blast. I am like,
that's why you don't finish games.
Pardon?
That's why you don't finish games.
I've already finished this game though.
But I'm saying that's why you struggle.
The thing is, right? I've been trying to enjoy the game because if I push 2, 3, 4, 2, no, Dylan, this is strategic, right? Not only am I enjoying it and loving it, and I'm already way over leveled, but if I played the main story, I would get to the point in the main story that Phantom Liberty kicks in, and then I would feel like I should buy Phantom Liberty when I'm not really, because I've been trying to avoid that because Spider-Man comes out at the end of this week. And if I bought Phantom Liberty, I would not have enough time to play everything. So I've done the smart thing, not bought Phantom Liberty, but have been enjoying the shit out of Cyberpunk in general. Like, I think I'm only part of the way into Act 2, and I am level 36, and I've almost got I'm level 46 out of 50 street cred. And I'm doing great. It's a lot of fun. It's a great game. Between that and Assassin's Creed Mirage, it's been a good week of gaming.
You've been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage.
I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Holy
to be fact,
shit!
If I could have been bothered, or if I wanted to, I would have the platinum for it. I've got like 2 hours of gameplay left to do the platinum for that game.
That's insane. I'll put a pin in that. I think we'll talk about that more next week. Only because this week I wanted to We'll just structure a little bit slower. We're still on the slow week or whatever. We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about maybe some more Cyberpunk next week. I'm playing Detective Pikachu, probably like 3/4 of the way through.
I want some more coffee.
Oh, it's so good. Give me some coffee. Oh, it's so good. Every time he makes a joke about like wake up, they're like, oh Tim, we got to go out and stop the crimes. But before we go do that, can we stop by the coffee shop? I'm like, oh yeah. We'll have a few games to talk about next week. I think I'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know your thoughts on PAX, of course, and check out those videos as I was talking about. Our TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, but YouTube as shorts, not as main videos. Stay tuned for some articles coming forward. Stay tuned, I presume, this week for Ciaran's. Is that the plan? This week for your what's my call reviews?
We'll try and squeeze that in there. Yeah.
Well, stay tuned for this week or next week for Ciaran's reviews of those things. Ash will be back next week and we'll talk about all the things that have been happening. Until then, have a good one. Enjoy your week, everyone. Goodbye. Check out explosionhour.com.